Hello, everybody. Let's try this again. Hopefully, my internet will be more stable. I apologize. All right. It says I'm live. Let's try this again. All right. I sincerely apologize, everybody. Let me turn up my sound a little bit so that I can tell if I'm having any technical difficulties. Welcome to our 5th week of our branding masterclass. Thank you so much for taking time out of your Sunday to join me and learn about how to better brand your business. There we go. That's a little better. I just wanted to make sure that everybody could see. What was I going to say? Oh, yes. I hope that everybody has a wonderful Easter coming up this current Sunday. Just so you guys know, I am skipping Easter Sundays live. So that will be pushed back by just a week. And I'm already working on our next masterclass. Let me also go here while I'm thinking about it and reshare in the comments the PayPal donation link for getting me and Cosmic Lotus Consulting. Go to Tulsa. And here's what I'll do, because I have that in. No, I don't. Come on, dang Navio. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, guys. But it is going to help me snag the link. And I'm going to paste this to YouTube now. And just for those of you who can't see that, it has the link to help me get to Tulsa. I'm not sure that I enjoy that that's how that looks, but it is what it is. Oh, look, it's on my screen, covering me up. That's all right. I'm going to have to adjust that later. All right. So let's get down to business, because we are already 5 minutes in and Wave only gives me an hour. So I am going to copy and paste our first link of the afternoon. All right. And there we go. So our first resource talks about the Great Good Place Summary by Ray Oldenburg. And here's the topics that we're actually going to cover. Let's talk about how Amazon can ship literally everything. Socks, snacks, a full-size sofa, and probably your willpower. But, Loki, get over here. Come on. I apologize. Loki's getting into stuff. But they can't ship the feeling, but there's one thing that they cannot ship in a box. It's experience. They can't ship the feeling of your regulars laughing at the counter, your barista knowing someone's usual, or the quiet peace a burned out mom feels when she gets 5 minutes alone in your store without a toddler hanging off her leg. Loki, get over here. Sorry, he's being a little butt nugget today. Because Dimitri just got a lizard and he's super jealous of the lizard and he's just getting into everything because he wants the extra attention. All right, today we are going to talk about how your little shop on this very not Silicon Valley street can become the third place your community actually needs to stay sane, and how that translates into people staying longer, buying more, and coming back without you bribing them with 20% off coupons every single week. So, before we get into all the sociologist meets retail therapy, I'm going to give you a quick intro. I'm Ray, the founder of Cosmic Lotus Consulting LLC. I help startups, small micro businesses, and nonprofits in economically stressed out areas, where I turn the "we're surviving" stores into neighborhood anchors that customers feel emotionally attached to and not transactionally obligated. Come on, Loki. I work with startups, tiny brick and mortars, and nonprofits, all with under 30 employees and under 500K a year in revenue. The folks who don't have the marketing department, they have a cousin with Canva and a dream. So as I walk through this, I'll flag some places where CLC can plug in, whether that's designing a third place friendly layout, scripting staff interactions that create loyalty, or building low-cost marketing systems around the in-store experience that you're already giving. And what I mean by that is I'm going to use Mochi and You for an example. So Chris and I, my husband, went to Mochi and You today over in Bellevue, PA. And the store is just adorable as all get out. The mochi donuts, superb. But what really impressed me wasn't just the way that the store was branded or their really cute app. It was honestly the way that when I signed up for the loyalty program, they sent me a digital card that saved directly to Google Wallet. That was the biggest thing that impressed me, because it made it easy to add this card to something that is going to be with me all day, every day, my phone. And so that right there just made a huge difference to me. I even made sure to go out of my way to tell my husband how cool I thought this was. And it really impressed me so much that I'm now sitting here telling all of you how impressed I was by that. That is something that is low cost and that is simple. It puts your business front of mind every time they open up Google Wallet or Apple Pay and they see your loyalty card right there. And so it's a great way to remind people to stop by and collect on those rewards points. Brewsters, if you guys are seeing this, that's a wonderful idea to start implementing at your guys' store if that's possible. So let's start with why this third place thing is more than just a cute buzzword from a TED Talk that we were never invited to. Sociologist Ray Oldenburg wrote a book called The Great Good Place. And here he coined the term third place. Basically, the space that isn't home, which is your first place, and a space that isn't work, which is your second place. It's the place that you go to be a person, not a job description or a laundry machine operator. For some of you, that might be the library or the gym, or maybe your favorite local coffee shop. For me, it's the gym. He described third places as spots where people gather voluntarily and regularly. The vibe is informal and welcoming. Status doesn't matter. Everyone's on a neutral ground. Conversation is the main activity, and the mood is playful. Think barbershops, corner cafes, neighborhood bookstores, community centers, places where people feel a sense of belonging and not just a receipt. Researchers and planners have found that when communities have strong third places, they're more socially connected and more resilient. People share skills, they support each other, and even organize around community problems. That's not just cute. That's economic survival in neighborhoods that are already carrying a lot of weight. Now, pause and think. In your neighborhood, where do people usually hang out that isn't home or work? And is your business on that mental list for anyone? Let's make this real. If you think your business is already someone's third place, even if it's just 3 regulars, raise your hand for me. If you're pretty sure you're currently a get in, get out, go home spot, raise your hand. Either way, there's no shame. Both are data. Both are things that I'm going to take away from this and use in my own future research. So actually, this is really helpful for both me and you. It helps me come up with better strategies because you guys are giving me some extra insight that maybe some of the other experts don't currently have. Now, turn to someone next to you and in 30 seconds each, answer this. If my business magically became the third place for my block, what would people be doing in my space besides buying things? I'll give you a minute to see what the other person's idea of what people would come into your business for really is. All right. Now, if anyone said napping on my couch, you might be closer than you think. Oldenburg talked mostly about community, but retail nerds took his idea and said, wait, if people hang out more, do they buy more stuff? So the surprise answer to that question is yes. In retail research, we can dwell on time. How long customers spend in your store or specific areas. Studies on dwell time show the longer the dwell time longer dwell time is strongly associated with higher sales, because the longer someone stays, the more chances there are for them to notice, try, and add items. When people spend more time in a space, owners can see what really draws their attention, what displays work, and where people are getting stuck or potentially bored. And they can adjust the layout and staffing to increase conversions. To put it simply, a low dwell time usually means that your layout, your vibe, or service is just pushing people out. A healthy dwell time means that your space is doing emotional and practical work for people. They feel safe, seen, and not rushed. We're not trying to turn your store into an accidental daycare, but we do want people to stick around just long enough for their brain to say, actually, I do want that candle, this snack, or those extra pairs of socks. Visualization for your brand can really go a long way. Imagine your exact space right now. In a beauty shop, dwell time might look like a mom testing shades with her teen at a mirror station instead of grabbing one thing and leaving. In a nonprofit thrift store, such as Treasure House Fashions, it might be someone lounging in a cozy chair, flipping through books before wandering back to housewares. Well, or in this case, prom dresses. In a tiny grocery store, it could be a dad chatting with staff about recipes while the kids check out a little activity corner. Same square footage, same rent, just more humanity and more opportunities to make a purchase. So let's do a mini dwell time audit. On a scrap of paper or in your phone, I want you to answer these questions. How long does a typical customer spend in your space right now? Is it 1 to 2 minutes, 5 to 10, or longer? Where do they naturally slow down? Where do they speed up? Like the floor is lava. Now, circle one area where you could make it 20% more comfortable this month using low or no cost tweaks, better signage, a chair, rearranging traffic flow, or adding a mirror. So let's talk money, because vibes alone don't pay the rent. Consumer experience research shows people will pay more, sometimes a lot more, if the experience feels friendly, smooth, and human. A global study by the PwC found customers would pay up to 16% price premium for better experiences with products and services, and a large share would pay for more friendly, welcoming, and efficient service. More recent CX data from Qualtrics found around 72% of US consumers say that they're willing to pay more for a premium experience in general. Now that's what I call price elasticity of soul. You're not just selling a candle, you're selling 5 quiet minutes in your store where a mom remembers that she exists. A haircut where a teen finally feels seen and confident. That thrifted outfit that makes somebody feel job interview ready for the first time in 6 months. When you sell a Zen experience or a community experience instead of a commodity, you exit the race to the bottom price war with Amazon. You become the place where people justify spending a little bit more because of how you make them feel. Picture your own pricing. A small coffee shop in an economically disadvantaged area might charge a tiny bit more than the gas station down the road, but you're giving people free Wi-Fi, a welcoming space, and a place for their kids to do homework, and maybe a local art wall. A small boutique may not beat the discount chains on price, but you can offer styling help, a small mirror corner, and a bring your kid friend or grandma to try on that vibe that big box stores don't bother with. You're not overcharging, you're charging for service, safety, and sanity. So here's where Cosmic Lotus Consulting fits in. I work remotely with small and micro businesses to run the boring but critical stuff that your third place actually needs to function. Inbox management so customers don't disappear into the email void, scheduling and calendar management for you, your team, and those never ending meetings, and so much more. This way, you can keep being the face of experience while I quietly make sure that the operations underneath aren't being held together with vibes and duct tape. At the end of this workshop, if you're thinking my customers love my space, but behind the scenes it's chaos, my inbox is disaster, and my to-do list is bullying me, here's what I want you to do next. I will give you a link on how you can schedule a one-on-one call with me. On that call, we'll look at your inbox, your calendar, your workflows, and bookkeeping habits. We'll identify 2 to 3 admin bottlenecks that are quietly costing you money and energy. And if it feels like a good fit, then we'll talk about an ongoing OBM package where I handle the admin backbone, emails, SOPs, boards, scheduling, team coordination, basic bookkeeping, so you can then focus on the soul of your third place. You design the experience your community can't get online. I make sure that the back end runs so smoothly that you actually have time and brain space to do it. All right, so we are on to our next link and our next slide. All right, so we just talked about becoming the neighborhood's third place. Let's talk about how to hack people's brains with smell, sound, and light ethically. Amazon has algorithms, but you have a $10 target run, a plug-in diffuser, and vibes. And honestly, that's significantly more powerful than you think. Sensory signaling is what we're going to talk about first. Why smell is your secret weapon. So let's start with smell. And as many of you know, while I'm talking about smell, I tend to keep, oh, you can't even see it. There we go. I tend to keep something like this. This is my little roll on. Let's see, can I get it? There we go. And so I keep my little road sage open on my desk. I love it. It is calming. It is very citrusy. But honestly, it helps so much with my anxiety while I am doing these live streams with you guys. So let's start with smell, because your customers' noses are doing half of the work before they even realize it. Neuroscience shows that smell has a direct highway to the parts of the brain that handle emotion and memory, skipping some of the filters used by other senses. That's why one scent can throw you back to your grandma's kitchen or your first apartment in 2 seconds flat. Can you guys put into the comments what is one smell that the moment it hits your nostrils, you're just instantly relaxed? And give me a short reason as to why. So research has found that odor signals go straight from the nose to the brain areas like the amygdala, the hippocampus, which control emotion and memory, giving smell an unusually strong power to trigger vivid and emotional memories. Memories triggered by smell are often more emotional and longer lasting than those triggered by sights or sounds. Memories, oh, I already read that, never mind. So, when we say that smell is the strongest memory trigger, what we really mean is smell doesn't ask for permission. It just goes straight to the feelers. For you, that means a consistent, pleasant scent in your store can teach your customer's brain this place equals calm, safe, and happy. When they catch that scent again, even faintly, they remember how they felt in your space before they remember what even brought them there or what it even costs. You're literally building an emotional recall with a $10 bottle of essential oil and a diffuser. If you run a boutique, a light vanilla or soft floral scent can signal cozy, soft, I deserve something nice. If you run a thrift store or nonprofit, think clean cotton or gentle citrus that says this space is cared for and safe. If you're a wellness or beauty brand, lavender, eucalyptus, or wood warm notes can scream, exhale, you're here to relax. Same store, same inventory, different emotional soundtracks in their brains. So here's a quick exercise. Think of a smell that instantly takes you back to a specific memory, good or bad. Your grandma's house, a hospital, a school cafeteria. Turn to the person that's next to you or text your best friend and share what that smell is, what the memory is, and what the feeling that's associated with it is. You'll notice that no one says, I remember a product. They remember a moment. They remember my mother used to wear this when she would go to work, or, this is the smell of the cleaning supplies that my nanny used to use, or things like that. That's what you're creating in your space, moments that stick. So next up, we're going to talk about lighting. Lighting is one of the fastest ways to turn your store from a doctor's office to I could hang out here. Retail and lighting research shows warm lights create a sense of comfort and encourage shoppers to stay longer and explore more. Cooler lighting boosts alertness and can work for fast in and out shop, harsh and overuse. Cooler lighting can also be more of a sensory trigger for those with disabilities such as ADHD or autism. Smart use of lighting, like softer ambient light plus brighter accent lights on key displays, can actually increase browsing time and even boost sales significantly by drawing attention to featured products. For a third place style business in an economically disadvantaged area, we want cozy, welcoming, safe more than a sterile lab. Warm bulbs, soft spots of light, and less glare are perfect to do that. You don't need a $5,000 lighting plan, but you do need warmer tone bulbs. Typically look for 2,700 to 3,000K on the box. A few string lights, lamps, or even clip-on lights to soften corners. And one or two brighter lights pointing at your best sellers or a community board. Now we're going to talk about the $10 ambience hack. Because I promise that this would not turn into a you must remodel your entire store or parish. You don't need a designer. What you do need is a string of warm lights, Hello Dollar Store clearance bin, a basic scent diffuser or wax warmer. And these two things act as sensory signals. They visually and emotionally separate you from sterile big chains with harsh fluorescent lighting and no emotional warmth. They suggest that this place has been here, this place is loved, and this place is for us, which signals neighborhood tenure and safety, even if you've only been open for 6 months. Combined with everything from slide one, that's how you become the place that everyone chooses to hang out and not just run in when you have errands. So we're gonna talk. I apologize. I'm freezing, even with my heater on. Which I think I'm turning up my heater down in the basement. It's still cold down here. Pittsburgh weather for you. Okay, so let's design your signature sensory cue on a budget. So in your notes, I want you to write down 3 quick things. How do you want people to feel in your space in one word? Not more than one, just one. Do you want them calm or energized, hopeful, cozy? What about powerful? Now, pick a smell that matches that feeling and is simple and easy to source. Maybe it's a candle that smells like ocean waves. And there's a local candle shop a couple blocks down the street. Things like that. Maybe it's adding the smell of fresh herbs and spices. You can go to a local garden center. Maybe you want fresh flowers. And so you are putting pots with fragrant flowers that are growing so that as people come in, they can smell those fresh flowers. Now, pick a lighting tweak that you could do for under $20. String lights, one lamp, a warmer bulb, or turning off a few overhead lights and using side lighting. So some example combos: calm lavender and a warm lamp in your seating area. Energized citrus scent along with a slightly brighter warm light at your product demo table. Want them to feel hopeful? How about clean cotton along with string lights around your community board or your resource wall? Circle one that you could implement within the next 30 days. That's going to be your sensory branding MVP. Your minimum viable presence. As you're dreaming up your string lights and signature scent, remember, you don't have to choose between a modest rebrand and keeping the back end from catching fire. If you want to refresh how your space feels without dropping the admin balls, that's exactly where CLC comes in. We sit quietly in the background as your remote online business manager, where I help handle the inboxes, SOPs, schedule, bookkeeping, vendor issues, so you actually have the capacity to make your small sensory upgrades stick over time. If you're thinking, I'd love to do this, but who's running the operations while I do? Just remember, Cosmic Lotus Consulting is for low drama support while you work on the fun parts. Honestly, I am doing such a good job on sticking to time today. I'm really proud of myself. And honestly, I'm really, really proud of my internet for holding out for me. All right. As I freeze my tushy off. Sorry, I needed a whiff of some of my relaxation while I'm down here working. All right. So, this week has been about sensory branding. The And we leaned into the commodity trap. The idea of if you look and feel like every other shop, then you're forced to compete on price with Amazon. And that is a battle that you will lose. So now that we've spent the last 30 some minutes talking about why your shop shouldn't feel like, sorry, I need some sensory something. So here we are, playing with my luggage tag that I am desperately going to need in November, which I'm really sad about because then I can't use for sensory stuff while traveling, but that's all right. I'm going to have to buy me another one. So now that we've spent the past 30 some minutes talking about why your shop shouldn't feel like a waiting room at your dentist's office, you are the third place. You are the spot between home and work where people actually want to be. But if your shop feels like a sterile warehouse, then you're just an Amazon locker with higher rent. So, since you're all sitting here in complete silence, hopefully because you've realized that your lighting is currently in early prison chic, let's talk about the vibe. So, we're going to talk about question 1, the brand smell. And please, guys, feel free to drop any of your questions and comments, even if you're on the replay crew. I will be more than happy to go back and answer every single question, even if it's on the replay. So if I walked into your shop today and I closed my eyes, would the brand smell be success or industrial floor cleaner? Put it in the comments. I can't wait to hear. Sensory marketing research proves that smell is the strongest trigger for memory. Big brands like Starbucks or high-end hotels spend millions on scent branding to make you feel relaxed and ready to spend. If your boutique smells like bleach or old gym socks, you're signaling utility instead of experience. A $15 essential oil diffuser and a signature scent, maybe sandalwood or citrus, tells the customer's brain that they've entered a special zone. It creates cognitive ease and makes them stay longer. So be honest, guys. What is the worst smell that you've ever encountered in a local shop? Don't name names, but did you stay and buy anything, or did you do a 180 and walk right back out? So our second question is going to be about the Amazon trap. So what is the one thing that Amazon does better than you? And why are you still trying to brand yourself as the cheap alternative instead of the local experience? So, Jeff Bezos has mastered the art of transaction. He is faster, cheaper, and has better logistics than you will ever have. But if you brand yourself as the cheap option, then you're fighting a war that you've already lost. You have to pivot to experience branding. You offer a human-to-human connection that a cardboard box just can't provide. People will pay a 20% premium for the local experience to talk, taste, and touch and engage with other people during their local experience. So, what is one item in your store that I would be able to find on Amazon for $5 or less, but people still buy from you? Is it because they like you, or is it because they like being in your shop? Think about it. Do you have a pen that would normally sell on Amazon for $5? A notebook, a journal? What is the thing that people are buying from you that they could get it from Amazon, probably cheaper, maybe not faster, but definitely cheaper? So next we're going to talk about belonging versus trespassing. When was the last time a customer stayed at your third place just to talk? Did they feel like they belonged? Or did they maybe feel like they were trespassing? All right, so according to Ray Oldenburg's third place theory, this says that for a community to thrive, it needs a neutral ground where people can linger without a ticking clock. If you have a no loitering sign, or if your staff stares at customers until they buy something, then you're signaling that they're trespassers and you don't want them in your store. The longer a customer stays, all time, the higher the switching cost becomes. They don't want to go anywhere else because they feel like they're an integral part of the furniture at your place. Who has that one customer who always stays too long, talks too much? Come on, guys, we all have one. Now, let's flip it. Does that person also tell everyone that they know all about your shop? That's your congregant in action. Next, we're going to talk about the brand party. If you host a bar, vibe feel like a community hub or a sterile warehouse? If your shop isn't party ready, community hub has encourages movement and conversation. A sterile warehouse has fluorescent bulbs and a don't touch energy. This can be overwhelming, and it can honestly be a deterrent to loyal customers that would probably come back over and over again if your shop was more welcoming. In economically disadvantaged areas, your shop should be a beacon of local pride. It should look like the best version of the neighborhood. If you threw a party in your business next week, who would show up? Would it be all of your